Spices are useless, and I'll tell you why. So, the first time I was cooking by myself and I was trying to cook healthy food like vegetables, I was trying to enjoy them. I was not able to, so I searched up on YouTube, like any normal person will do, how to make vegetables taste good. And this video came up of this woman telling me how to make vegetable taste good. She basically told me, oh, you have to cook them in an order because like there are vegetables that take more time to cook. She gave me a quick list of those ingredients, and then she told like, oh, and then remember to use your favorite cooking spice blend, like Italian style blend, like oregano plus this and this, or like Mexican type of blend. I completely disagree. So at the time I tried that, it tasted awful. Okay, it was shit. It was terrible. It was there that I realized that basically spices are not good. They are useless. Okay, there is still a place for them, which I will get into later. But the baseline is that to make your food good, forget spices. They are not the way to go if you want to make your food better. If you want to make food more pleasurable, I'll tell you exactly what you have to do. And it doesn't have anything to do with spices, neither with flavors. Okay, six things. Yeah, six things: salt, fat, acidity, umami. All right, sweetness, and the most important one, okay, which I've not yet talked about. It's the first time I talk about this, is digestibility. I still have to come up, like to invent a name for this because digestibility is a bit too long and strange. But basically, it refers to how quickly you digest that food. This is also why you like bread and you like McDonald's. Okay, so let's say just that to make vegetables or any food taste good, you just have to focus on these six things. Forget flavors; they have nothing to do with pleasure. Okay, and trust me, I've tried that. I went through that. Okay, let me tell you again. That those vegetables were awful. You know when they tasted good? When I added salt, olive oil. Okay, just by adding those two, it was actually better. I tried, placing my favorite spices like paprika, was sweet paprika, and black pepper, some fucking I don't know, parsley or some turmeric, right? Some curry. I like curry, so I just added it. Was never good. I always disliked it. Okay, that's because I was not focusing on those six pillars. Okay, you have to focus on those five or six pillars. You have to have at least three of them. All right, at least three of them, and your meal will be good. Okay, so flavors are useless. Well, I don't deny the existence of flavors and that you like certain flavors, but I would say that those six things are objectively good and you like them no matter what, right? When it comes to flavors, it is way more subjective, meaning that me, right, an Italian that grew up in Italy with Italian parents that fed me like kind of traditional Italian things. Obviously I was not eating Chinese food. I was not eating traditional Indian food, right? I grew up in a certain way, with certain flavors, with certain um, foods type, like certain ingredients. Okay, so I like them obviously, and this is very subjective. This may like to me, doesn't mean it like to you. Like it doesn't mean you like it because the flavors are different. This like thing about flavors, I call it emotional component because it is not objectively good. What like like the other six pillars. Flavors are something that you recognize and you. I see it. So this is how I see it. There are flavors and you basically attach those flavors to certain part of the brains that you like. So like you associate those flavors with something good, right? This is why, for me, in my case, I cannot. I've tried. Okay, someone presented me with a pineapple pizza, bro. I've tried it. I didn't like it. All right. I don't know. Maybe this is like a hardwired thing we have here in Italy, but bro, I don't like pineapple pizza. I've tried it. I'm open to these things. I didn't like it. Zero. All right. Because I grew up with really like an image of pizza as something that is mozzarella, tomato, and salt, pizza. No, normal plain pizza. Okay, maybe with some French fries on it, or some mushrooms, or some ham. Okay, right? So something normal. Pineapple never been on my mind. So when I tasted that, and I was expecting something to be like pizza tasting, it was not pizza tasting. So I was disappointed. I didn't like the pineapple pizza. So this is something you will have for sure. Like there is certainly a very hearty dish your mother prepares that you like, and you only like that. And this is the emotional component. So yes, I mean they can matter, but they are not as important as the five pillars. Sorry, six pillars. So yeah, flavors exist. They do in some way influence the pleasure you get from food. But I would say that you can easily detach from that. This way you can enjoy literally anything. I was able, okay, through my discovery, like to the discovery of these six pillars. That, by the way, I've not seen anyone yet explain. I may sound crazy, but it looks to me like I am the only person on the internet like explaining, like telling these six pillars. I've seen no one talk about it. There was a close one, a close call. There is this very famous book called it was called uh, like salt acid heat, uh, salt acid heat. I think it was called, yeah, something like that. He said this researcher basically went around the world and always noticed a pattern, okay, and it was salt, acidity, and heat, something like that. Okay, there was this like common elements that came up with like very good and traditional recipes. I don't agree with that because I think that there are these other pillars which I explained before, and those are the like that is the full picture of food pleasure, right? Look, I may be wrong, but for me, okay, for now, it has always worked out. Every time I'm included, every time I included like 3 or 4 of those pillars, I never got something bad. I literally mixed the most random ingredients and still got something tasty. The danger you may come across is that sometimes by mixing like really random things, your brain, okay, kicks in with the emotional components of your, food pleasure tasting um, receptor. Okay, I don't fucking say that. You get the point. When you present to someone which is really like attached to the tradition, such as my parents, okay, if they see me, for example, adding something that is not usually added to a recipe, they may go, "No, that's not how you do it. It is awful. Look, I'll try that. Let's see if it is good." They try that, and they know that I just put something that was not supposed to be there, and they will say, "Oh, this doesn't taste good," because they know it. Guess what? I did an experiment. Okay, I basically made a recipe with my own my own changes in terms of five pillars or the six pillars. So I added maybe some acidity, which usually doesn't appear in the original recipe, and they liked it, right? Only when I told them, oh, I used this ingredient, and they would like, oh, okay, oh, this yeah, after all, this is not that good, yeah, bro. They didn't notice. Only when they know I changed the original recipe, they will kind of go like, oh, okay, no, I don't like this anymore, right? That's the same like let's say I put some insects in your plate, in your recipe, in your pizza. You eat it, you don't even notice it, right? Only when I tell you I just put some insects and some worms, you go like, oh, this is disgusting. How the fuck was I able to eat that, right? That's the emotional component. That is what you have to detach yourself from. Not because it is bad, right? It's just that you open yourself to more possibilities, and I've found a lot of a lot of success in terms of diet goals. If I recognize those emotional components of pleasure from food. Okay, so yeah, just be open. Okay, just be open to other things and don't be fixated on the tradition. This kind of the message I wanted to convey.